haga'as ki hagam shebechol mitzvah yesh bechina zu, that even though in each mitzvah you have this idea of ratzav shov achlo ba bechina zu bebir v'gilui gamor bechol mitzvos, but this concept is not in a clear and revealed way in each and all of the mitzvahs, mitzvahs paraduma, like it is in the mitzvah of the red heifer. Shekol inyanahu beis bechinos elu, the ratzav shov, that its whole concept is these two ideas of going up and coming back. Shezeu inyan ha'efer v'hamayim chaim, that this is the concept of the ashes and the living waters, lefichach, and therefore Likutei Chukas Hatorah, it's called the statute of the Torah, because it embodies this idea. And this is similar to what it's explained in another place concerning what our sages said. That it's nicer, the speech of the servants of our forefathers in front of the omnipresent, more than the Torah of the sons of their sons. Shari Parsha shel Eliezer kfula b'Torah, because the Parsha of the story of Eliezer is said twice in the Torah. V'har begufei Torah lo nitnu ela b'remiza, and many parts of the body of Torah itself of halacha were only given in a hint. Because the Parsha of Eliezer is the concept of uniting Shema and Shemban. That is the oral Torah with the written Torah. Yitzchak and Rivka correspond with. And it's the general concept of uniting Shema and Shemban, b'chol mitzvos u'derech prati, and in each one of the mitzvahs it's in a particular way, sheyichud ze b'mitzvazu u'b'chinas pratius chulu, that this union in this mitzvah is in particular, and you have this union in a particular way. V'hainu mitzvos nikrau remach evarim de malka, that the mitzvahs are called the 248 limbs of the king. Now, for example, when a person, the general life force rests in the mind and the heart, that's where you have the general life force rest, Biskalus, in a revealed state, which is not the case with all the other limbs. Nimshach rak chayus prati, you have only a particular life force, hashayich la'everahu, to that has to do with that particular limb. Vain Bitanya Peraknanal, look what's brought in Tanya about this idea in chapter 51. Vini afal pichin gam b'chol ha'evarim ish gam ken hiskalus mikol ha'evarim. But even though that's true, in each one of the limbs, there's an inclusion. It gets included together with all the other limbs. There's a connection between them. Perish l'mashal, b'haragel, yesh bo achayos shel harosh. Like, for example, in the foot, you have a life force from the head. Vayin gamkein, look also over there about this. Like we see that through bloodletting from the foot, it can heal the head. By having a leech, also you can heal the eye. By leeching blood from the foot. It's not bloodletting; it's leeching. So it's found then that in the head, in the foot, you have life from the head and the eye as well. And so from all the limbs, and that is through the veins that come from the head to the foot. So in all the limbs you have a connection as through the different systems, the blood vessels and the nervous system and so forth. Only the life from the head and eye rest in the foot. But only in a very shortened way. It only, so to speak, hinted to, and very hidden within the foot. So to each limb includes all the others, but it's in a way of only hinted to in a shorthand and very hidden. And there are those limbs that the inclusion of the head within it is more revealed a little, more than another limb, that in another limb its connection to the head is more hidden. Just like the healing the head is more connected to leaching from the foot, specifically vahinu lefish, and then that is because the end is tied to the beginning. Or the beginning is tied to the end. But still, it's hidden and it's only hinted to, and in a short way, it's not actually the life of the head in the foot. Which is not the case with the brain and the heart. In them you have included the general life force of all the 248 limbs in a revealed state, and not only in a hinted way. And therefore it's felt in the mind, everything that happens with all the 248 limbs. And similarly in the heart, that the heart gives a flow of life force to all the limbs through the blood of the soul, that comes out from the heart to all the other limbs, and it goes all around and around this breath of life, the spirit of life, through the blood, and the blood, and throughout all the limbs, and the veins that are swallowed, that are within the limbs. And it goes back to the heart. This is a quote from the Lashon of the Alter Rebbe in Tanya, of in the haga'as HaKodesh of the Shchinta is Mara Begalusa. And similar to how there's a difference between the mind and the heart, the brain and the heart, that they are general limbs, in comparison to the other limbs. So too is similarly is the difference between the story of Eliezer, with the general union of Shem Ban, which is the oral Torah, with Shema, the written Torah. And look what's brought in the verse, like the story of, or like the action of the sapphire brick and the essence of the sky to its purity, which perhaps also is a concept of ban and ma. That's why you have this parsha doubled, said over twice, because it's the general union of the oral Torah, so that the infinite light should be in a revealed, that the infinite light is in a revealed state, similar to the revelation of the general life force in the mind and the heart, Masha'enkin b'torason shel banim, which is not the case with the Torah of the sons. Shahar be'gufei Torah lo nitnu ela b'remiza, that many parts of the body of Torah were only given in a hint. And that is because they are the 248 limbs. That even though in all the other limbs you also have this union, it's only in a hint and in a very shorthand, similar to how in all the limbs you do have inclusion in them of all the other limbs as well, but it's only hinted to. So the concept that you have this union of the Torah Sheba'al Peh in the Torah Shebechsav is there in all the letters, but it is sometimes only in hints and so forth, but not straight out and expressed clearly, like the story of Eliezer. And similar to this idea, Yuvin Gamkin beparaduma, you can understand with the red heifer, Sh'alei Chukas Hatorah, that about it says that it's the statute of the Torah, Shi Gamkin Klolus Hatorah, that it is also a general concept of the Torah, that is through the ashes and living water, it's the general union of the going up and coming back, that it's a concept of the union of Man Ban, of the Shemos Hashem, and in terms of the purification of Birur Rishon and Birur Sheni, the complete purification process of creation. And it's similar to also the union of the heart and the mind. Yesod ha'esh, who believe that the fundamental element of fire is in the heart, v'zeu imratz libcha, and that's if your heart runs. V'yesod ha'mayim hu b'moach, and the fundamental element of water is in the mind. V'bichinas shov, and that's the concept of returning. V'shiyischabru yachad, zeu inyan chibur ha'ratzav v'shov, and that to unite the mind and the heart is like uniting the water and the fire. And that's like uniting the going up and coming back. Now in all the mitzvos, you also have this idea of fire and water, called mitzvah, and therefore, to fulfilling all the mitzvos, you'll come to this idea of going up and coming back. Because each and every limb includes within it the heart and the mind. But there it's in a particular of all the mitzvahs para, but with the mitzvah of the heifer, who klalos yichud zeh, the general idea of this union of the fire and water going up and coming back. Like the concept of the union of the ma'uban, of the mind and the heart themselves, the fire of the heart and the water of the mind, like the union of those two limbs, so too the paraduma is this general concept. Look what's brought about in Tzitzis about the concept of the fire of a yud with yud, and the fire with a hay, the ish ve'isha, the union of man and woman that has the yud and the hay, is similar to this idea of the mind and the heart. And you have the fire of both of them, the unites in a union. The Shamavur Gamkin Echalidia Mitzvos Nimshach Yichud Zechulu, and that in the Maamer of Hayalachim Latzitzis it also explains that how through the mitzvah you have this union as well. Chulu Ad Kanaga. It's the end of that note from the Tzemach Tzedek on this Maamer in Likutei Torah.